The stars above the transport ship were scattered like shattered glass, gleaming in cold silence. I sat in my cabin, fiddling nervously with a strange ring-like artifact I had found on Clyra 7, a lush jungle world my survey team had just abandoned after a particularly unwelcoming encounter with its territorial wildlife. The artifact was metallic, warm to the touch, humming with a faint resonance I couldn't identify. I probably should have handed it over to the research division, but curiosity got the better of me. The mission had been routine. Scout, map resources, collect samples. But when I unearthed that artifact from beneath an ancient tree root, I knew it was something different. The carvings etched into its surface weren't natural, spiraling lines that seemed to shift when you stared too long. My scanner told me nothing useful. Unknown alloy. Unknown energy signature. So I slipped it into my pocket. Mistake number 1. By the time we docked at the orbital station around Zelthar Prime, I'd forgotten about it. The crew disbanded, and I wandered into the docking bay plaza where dozens of alien species mingled. Zelthar Prime was a trade hub. Markets, embassies, entertainment domes, and, most importantly, a grand hall where treaties were negotiated. That's when I saw her. The Queen of Zelthar herself, standing tall and radiant among her honor guard. She wasn't human, but she was breathtaking in her own otherworldly way. Her form was humanoid but elongated, skin a shimmering deep violet with iridescent tones that shifted under the artificial lights. Her crown wasn't an object but a natural growth of crystalline spires that shimmered like prisms. And her eyes, silver, calm and piercing, made everyone else in the hall feel small. She was speaking with diplomats, her voice resonant yet melodic, when I, a low-ranking surveyor, made mistake number 2. I tripped. The artifact slipped from my jacket pocket, rolled across the polished floor, and stopped at the Queen's feet. Every guard raised their weapons instantly, but she lifted a graceful hand, silencing them. Her eyes met mine as I scrambled forward, mortified. "Forgive me, Your Majesty," I stammered, reaching for the object. This belongs to my team. Just an artifact." But before I could pick it up, she bent down, touched the ring and gasped softly. The markings flared with light, glowing in sync with her crystalline crown. She lifted it delicately, turning it in her hands, then looked at me with sudden intensity. "You present this to me?" she asked. Froze. The hall went silent. Her words carried weight I didn't understand. She held the artifact high, and the carvings flared brighter, projecting spirals of light into the air. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The Queen stepped forward and placed the glowing artifact in my hand, closing my fingers around it. "Your proposal is accepted," she declared, her silver eyes never leaving mine. The room erupted into thunderous applause and ritualistic chanting in a language I couldn't comprehend. My stomach dropped. Proposal accepted. What had I just done? The middle. Within hours, my life had been rewritten. I was no longer Surveyor Ethan Cade, low-level explorer scraping hazard pay. I was now, apparently, the betrothed of Queen Selira of Zelthar. They whisked me to her palace, a colossal structure carved into a mountain of violet stone, glowing with streams of liquid energy that pulsed like veins through its walls. Servants bowed, courtiers whispered, and soldiers saluted me. I barely had time to breathe before I was dressed in ceremonial robes and paraded through halls filled with towering banners and alien music. Finally, when the noise subsided, Queen Selira and I were left alone in her private chamber. She studied me with quiet amusement while I tried not to collapse from panic. "I need to clear something up," I said quickly. "This is a misunderstanding. That artifact, I didn't mean." her head tilted, crystalline crown catching the light. "You did not intend to propose." "Exactly," I exclaimed. "Where I come from, proposing is, well, it's marriage. Lifelong commitment. I didn't know what that artifact meant to your people." She stepped closer, her presence overwhelming. "Among the Zelthari, the ring of convergence is sacred. Only one destined by fate may unearth it. To present it before the queen is the highest form of union." I swallowed hard. "Oh. I basically proposed marriage in front of your entire court. And I accepted." Her tone was calm, almost teasing, but I could sense the weight beneath it. Breaking such a union, I feared, wouldn't just be rude. It might trigger interstellar scandal. "I'm nobody," I muttered. "Just a surveyor." You're a queen. You underestimate yourself," she said, her silver eyes softening. "The convergence ring chooses no one by accident. Perhaps you were meant to stand at my side." For the next days, I was caught in a whirlwind. Royal tutors tried to teach me Zelthari customs, bowing rituals, hand gestures, formal speech. Priests examined the artifact and declared it genuine, a relic of their ancestors that appeared only once every 1,000 cycles. The people celebrated in the streets. Banners of my face alongside Salira's hung from airships. But not everyone was pleased. Lord Varix, a powerful noble with ambitions for the throne, made his disdain clear. He cornered me during a banquet, his voice dripping with venom. "You are an interloper," he hissed. "The queen cannot bind herself to an off-world scavenger. The people may cheer now, but they will not follow a stranger." "I didn't ask for this," I shot back, though my voice shook. "Then leave," he said, leaning close. "Leave before you bring ruin upon her." But leaving wasn't so simple. Guards followed me everywhere, not out of mistrust but protection. And every time I looked at Queen Salira, something strange stirred in me. She wasn't just regal, she was kind. She listened when I spoke, even when I made mistakes. She laughed at my awkward human humor, and when she smiled, it was like watching stars flare. Despite my panic, I found myself drawn to her. Then came the assassination attempt. It happened during a public ceremony in the capital square. Salira stood on the grand balcony, addressing her people, when a shadow darted from the crowd. A cloaked figure raised a weapon, aiming directly at her. I didn't think, just moved. I tackled her to the ground as the plasma bolt seared overhead. Guards surged forward, capturing the assassin, but the damage was done. I had thrown myself over the queen, shielding her with my body. When the chaos subsided, she looked at me, her silver eyes wide with something more than shock. "You risked your life for me," she whispered. "I didn't exactly have time to think about it," I admitted. From that moment everything changed. Rumors spread of the human consort who shielded the queen. Nobles who doubted me were forced to acknowledge my loyalty. And Salira herself, she grew warmer, more open. She began inviting me to her private councils, asking my opinion on matters of state.